Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 10th day of August, 2023. I hope you're all safe and healthy on this Thursday as we're approaching the end of the week, and that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, who every day are trying simply to save lives. And those also that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets and sidewalks and places clean and disease-free, as well as those that make deliveries of food and water and mail for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution. The victims of human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of all these things. Double curses on those who profit from these nasty things. And double curses on the perverts that create the industry for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the U.S. of A. And millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So today I wanted to touch base on the recent re-signing, or signing as it were, of Josh Hart, how it affects the Knicks, how it affects Immanuel Quickley and other players, and what it tells us about the Knicks going forward. I don't know, and I don't think anyone knows right now, the specifics of the contract. When the Knicks say 4 years, $81 million, it could be 4 years, $81 million completely guaranteed, but more than likely, it's incentive-based. There's incentive-based in there. We don't know how many years are fully guaranteed. We don't know what the incentives are and what the base is. For example, it was said originally that Fournier had a 4-year deal, something in the area of $78 million. But really, the deal is 3 years and about $54 million, because the fourth year was a team option, which will never be exercised. So we have to see the details. We're going to speak more on this probably with this weekend's live stream, but right now we don't know all the details. So let's go with the 4 years, $81 million. What I do know at this point is the first year is $18.1 million, which again tells you a little something, because 4 years, $81 million averages something like $20 million. But the first year is $18 million, which says either it's incentive-based, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be, and or it increases during the course of the 4 years, which is a possibility. Leon has done it both ways. In Mitchell Robinson's case, he started off high and it goes down. In RJ's case, it starts off lower and it goes up. So it depends on how he done the deal. We don't know that yet. But, what we do know tells us a lot of what I mentioned already. First of all, it does not affect Quentin Grimes or Deuce McBride, because their contracts don't come up for extension. They won't even talk about an extension with them until a year from this October. Okay? That's what they're going to deal with their extensions. So their new salaries won't affect the Knicks until this is 23-24, you got 24-25, 25-26 is when those two guys' extension will affect the Knicks. So that's not anything we need to be concerned about right now for a couple of reasons. Number one is the time frame. It's in the future. And the Knicks, that also ensures the Knicks are going to keep these guys because of how cheap they got them for now. We don't know that time frame. So the salary luxury tax number will increase. It was 165 this past season, going to be 172 next season. It's going to be definitely higher in 2 seasons. So we don't have to worry about that right now. With regard to Immanuel Quickley, it will not affect him. The Knicks have already basically created room for Immanuel Quickley's deal by simply going to be renouncing or trading Evan Fournier's $19 million. And so you got that, plus the increase in, again, the luxury salary by $7 million. And the Knicks right now are about $5 million under the current luxury tax. So when you add all of those variables together, the Knicks will be able to afford Immanuel Quickley, and it will not cause them to go into luxury tax territory. Now, Quickley's number, let's talk about Josh Hart's number. Because in terms of Quickley, that's the most important question right now, because he's the one that's eligible for an extension now, and his new salary will take effect starting next season. So there are three elements that will affect Immanuel Quickley's salary. Three. Aside from obviously his talent and production. Let's take that off the table. But we're talking about what money is going to be available in terms of overall for the league, what percentage, and this is how they do it in the league, your salary is a percentage of the team's salary. And based on where you were drafted, your performance, any other outstanding metrics you might make or not make, that determines the percentage of the overall team salary that your salary could be. Okay, so they determine it based on that. So we want to find out what is the overall percentage of salary that Immanuel Quickley will command. Like the superstars command like 30% of the team's salary. He's not going to get anything like that. Okay, but he's extremely important for what the Knicks do. Extremely important is Immanuel Quickley. That's why I find it very silly for anyone to think that he's going to be traded at the deadline. He will not be traded at the deadline. He's too important to the Knicks, number one. Number two, there is no need to trade him because he will become a restricted free agent. That's the worst case scenario. He becomes a stricter free agent at the end of next season if he doesn't sign an extension, which I think he will. So the trade at the deadline stuff is stupid. That's just for people that looks for high, clicks based on fantasy. But it's not going to happen. So they're going to keep Immanuel Quickley. He's too important for what the Knicks do. And he's still young in his career. He's not even near his peak, he's not even near his prime right now. So, no. But the salary that's available in terms of the league amount, which we expect to be 172 for the Knicks, also what his cohorts or his other people in his stratosphere in terms of talent level have gotten. Mostly we're talking about the guy from Miami there, Tyler Hero. That's going to be a litmus because Tyler Hero and him are similar, and that money's available. Okay. Third is what Josh Hart got. Okay, because both of them are bench pieces. In fact, all three of those guys are bench pieces. Quickley's going to get more than Hart. He's just a better player. He's more important to the Knicks. The Knicks drafted him. They got commitment to him. They love Josh Hart. But I'm telling you right now, they love Immanuel Quickley, and they should. So Josh Hart number, somebody quoted $94 million. That's not his number. That's what he's going to earn based on the last year of his current contract, which he signed with another team, and the 4-year Knicks contract. So it's $94 million. But actually, that is a good number if you take that over 4 years for Immanuel Quickley. I can see Immanuel Quickley getting somewhere around $92 million over 4 years, $23 million a year, and it's going to be based on incentives and all that other stuff that comes with that, with the Dom, when you're dealing with the Dom. But I'm expecting that number to come in around that there, $23 million a year. He's well worth that. That's a good number for him. It's somewhere between $100 million that he's reportedly looking for and the $81 million that Hart got. It's not going to be Tyler Hero type money because I think, let me just make sure, let me just look at spot record. I think Hero got more than that if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a look at Miami because if I'm the agent for Quick, I am definitely trying to get that kind of money for my client. Yeah, he got a 4-year, $120 million deal, Tyler Hero did. And he had incentives of $10 million included in that. So he has to play 75% of the regular season games. He gets money for stuff like Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, first or second All-NBA, third All-NBA. And so, he gets some incentives based on that. That could push his, he's getting like $27 million. So Quick is going to be looking for something in that area, and I would too. But I don't think he's going to get that. So I think he's going to get somewhere in the $23 million to $25 million range, which is again $92 to $100 million. Maybe he might need that $100 million. He could get that, and that's not going to affect the Knicks going over the luxury tax. It's not. If it was just that move. What this also says to me is the Knicks, and this is going to disappoint all the high transaction people that are always looking to make a deal, always looking for, what is it Berman would say, the blockbuster. The Knicks are not going to be doing any blockbusters right now. This says to me that they are fixed on this team as it stands. That they're going to let this team run and see what they can get out of this team. How far can this team take them? Everybody's going to have an opinion about what they think. It doesn't matter what you think. What actually matters is the performance. So we're going to see the performance of the Knicks this year in terms of the team that they have. The big acquisition is Dante DiVincenzo this year, but he's, again, a surgical piece to the Knicks. And I never really thought the Knicks should really do anything. I've been saying a while they should just run it back because the continuity is something this organization has not had in a long time. Prior to the Tom Thibodeau, Leon Rose era, you haven't had any real continuity, man, for 20 years with the Knicks, really. So this is important. This is one of the many reasons why they were floundering for a long time. They kept trying to make moves, to make quick changes, and not having any real continuity, which comes from scouting, drafting, and developing what you have. So now they're doing that, and I want to see, and I think the Knicks want to see, what can this crew do? There are people say, well, you'll never be able to do this, or you'll never be, well, those people, I ignore anyway. We don't know what this crew could do. And the reason we don't know is because there's a lot of question marks in terms of upside. Okay? People have their opinions, but the truth is, no player begins to reach their upside till they're about 26, sometimes 27. Okay? That's usual. Some players are later, some players are earlier, there's exceptions, but as a norm, a player doesn't begin to achieve their highest level of upside till like 26, 27. Okay? And in this era in which we are dealing with, a lot of players, particularly a Tom Thibodeau coached team, they're in shape, so you can expect them, unless they have a serious injury, to stay at that level for 4 years. So you can go from 26 to 30, 31. Look at Jimmy Butler. So you can go long time at that high level. Right now, Julius Randle is pretty much at his peak. Jalen Brunson is not quite. He was as good as he was. He could get a little better. Okay? Not that the Knicks actually need him to be way better, because he's really good right now. But he's still got a little bit more upside, which is dangerous because he could be a superstar. R.J. Barrett, for all of his faults, he's only 23. So he hasn't reached anywhere near what he's going to be yet. We don't even know what that is. It could be a little better than now. It could be a lot better than now. We don't know. Okay? Mitchell Robinson's 25. He's about getting there this season, next season. So we're about getting there with him. Just some tweaks we need to do with him. But Josh Hart is at his prime, at his peak right now. Dante DiVincenzo, pretty much at his peak. I think he'll get better with the Knicks because of the responsibilities he has, opportunities he has. Quickley is not near his prime. Okay, you still got 2 or 3 more seasons to find out what you got from Immanuel Quickley. Quentin Grimes hasn't even scratched the surface. That's the scary thing about him. Haven't scratched the surface. Neither has Deuce. So we don't know how high some of these guys could go. Okay? We're going to find out. And this year will be a step forward for all of them. And I think that's what the Knicks want. Because look, when you're dealing with the salaries for this year, nobody on the Knicks is making over $30 million. Okay? Julius Randle's the highest paid player at $28 million, and you got $26 million for Brunson, and then $24 million for RJ. This is a very economical, in terms of financial, team. Okay? Very economical. You're going to have Josh Hart at 12.9 this year. Okay? So they're in a very good shape, and I think they'll continue that. I can see them, the Don, somewhere around 7-10 million under the luxury tax for the following season. That's how he's going to work this. Nobody needs to be moved. We don't have anybody making $40-50 million. Okay? And yet we got a team that can compete, period. Just compete right now. We're going to see how far they can compete this season. There's going to be a big one to show how far can we go. Can we go to the ECF with this team? Will this team get beat in the first round? Will this team win the second round and lose in the ECF? Can this team go to the finals? We don't know because it depends. Like I said, you got a number of players that still have upside. Key players. Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, Immanuel Quickley. They all still got upside. Hart'S is pretty much, even though he's a young player, he is pretty much what he is, and so is Josh Hart. These two are fixtures in the second unit, and they need to be. Don't depend on them for starters minutes, but depend on them for bench production, which both of them should give you. But what we can get out of Quentin Grimes is going to say a lot. I believe if they, as I've been saying, if they give Q-Dog some more shots, some more touches, some more opportunities to play off the dribble, he's got all that in his bag. It just hasn't been used. But I'm hoping that they include that this year, because if they do, the whole team will move forward, and you still haven't gotten the best out of Q-Dog yet. He's only 23. So we got about 2-3 more seasons to see what we got from him, and I'm excited to see what we got. He's a very key piece to me this coming year. So him and Jalen Brunson working together is going to be huge. So I don't expect them to make any moves. This is going to, like I said, disappoint all of the high transactional, let's make a deal, NBA 2K Knicks fans, and people that want to put that stuff out there for clickbait. I think they just want to see what they got with this team. That's it. Players like Isaiah Roby, Daquan Jeffries, Dwayne Washington, these are just guys to fill out the end of the bench. Okay? If you got to depend on one of these guys for key minutes, that's a sign you're in trouble. Okay? We should never see these guys, except it's blowout time. That's it. Okay? So, your Nathan Knights, your Dylan Windler has, to me, of all of those players they signed, the most talent. He's just been hurt a lot. He's not been available. And you know how Tom Thibodeau feels about that. That's why he's on a two-way deal. Try to prove himself that he can stay healthy. Okay, he's got the most talent, obviously, of all the guys, to me, of all the guys. He played very well for Cleveland. He just was hurt too much. Okay, so again, that's a biggie. That's a big red flag for Tom Thibodeau. So I don't expect most of those guys to see a lot of minutes. I'm looking to see what they do with Deuce McBride, because they got a solid 9-man rotation. Deuce would be the 10th guy. Okay, I'm expecting Sims to start some games based on Mitch Rob's record. Mitch Rob played 60 games. You're going to get Sims as a starter for 20 games. Unless he's hurt, okay? Because Hart'S is a fixture on the bench unit. So it's weird, but either Jericho won't play or he's going to start. That's how it's going to go, okay? But Deuce, he's got, of course, Jalen Brunson in front of him, Immanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo. He's got some people in front of him, but we'll see what happens. But he's a valuable piece. He's cheap, so we're going to see what the Knicks do with him this coming season. Again, the more minutes he plays, the better the Knicks have a chance to win. That's the way the record goes. I showed you all the stats. They're 18-2 when he plays like 15, 20 minutes or more. So he's very valuable. So, and of course the defense. But we'll see going forward. But I'm very excited, as I mentioned many times, about this Knicks team. This signing of Hart shows, again, as Begley said, the Knicks, how they feel about Josh Hart, their commitment to him, and it also shows, again, to me, the commitment to this whole team to see what they can do without making any major moves at all. This is not going to be a season where you got to make a move at the deadline to get a Derrick Rose or a Josh Hart. You're going to be able to just roll with what you got, and to me, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, because Tibbs has the players that he wants. These are the type of players he wants on his squad. He got them. I think we're going to be all right this year. So congratulations to Josh Hart on getting his bag. I think we're going to see Quickley get his. Begley mentioned, and it's true, they usually do this at the last minute, right before the start of the season. So don't worry about Quickley. You're going to have all kind of rumors about him. Forget it. He's going to be a Knick. He's going to be here. October, we're going to find out what the number is, period. If he doesn't sign the number, now that's a whole different story. I think he will, though, because they're going to give him the bag. He's going to get more than Josh Hart. Anyway, y'all enjoy your Thursday. Shalom.